Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're talking about trust and testing trust, or giving the trust automatically. So I had, and I believe that sometimes you need to test things.
She said things. You see, these are the issues. Human beings are firewood now, right? Sometimes you have to test things. Okay, no, she didn't mean things. Or last stop, she didn't mean things. She meant the relationship, the thing in between them, right? Yeah, right. She's trying to test you. Okay, she thinks you are more likely an evil person, and she wants to test you first. That's what she's saying precisely. Okay.
You know, there are stories of right in the Bible where God,
Bible.
knowing how much Abraham declares love for him, tested the love. Go and give me your son. It wasn't a you.
So when I don't play God,
You are professing you love me. Let's try this out. And he showed that level of love that you are willing to sacrifice your son. I will test you if I'm about to do
all right. So let me just say this, okay? Let me just say, because if I don't say it now, I might miss the point. Okay. Let me just say. The idea of God testing, the way I interpret that is that life will test you, is that true love will test you. In fact, my interpretation of God is literally synonymous with love. Okay, true love, unconditional love is God. God is not a thing or human being who lives on the planet, a 13th planet somewhere. No, it is not. Nigerian Christians, it is not. Okay. True love, our experiencing true love, you experience God. Okay. Think about unconditional love. It will test you because you will have questions in your heart when you're in the middle of it. Life will happen. Things will happen in life that will make you want to question even a person that's goddamn near perfect. They don't exist, but near perfect. Things will happen, and you being able to get through that type of test is the issue. But Auntie Tokpe and the Indomie generation will probably tell us something. Let's continue. I just want to make sure I say that before I continue, because it's so important that I say that, because I might just miss it. Life will present tests to you. It's a default. You too deserve soft life. Why are you spending all your time and energy in testing other human beings? You're not God. And you're missing out on life by doing so. You're missing out. You're missing out on the experience. You're missing out on the experience. So what should we be doing then to protect ourselves? I know you're looking for that answer. We'll get to it. Hopefully. Toby and Tribe says, like attract like. If we're not healed or whole within ourselves, yeah, we will likely attract people who will show us shaggy. That's a fact. Okay. Somebody said, my eardrums. Why are you yelling? I know. Because shaggy will yell at you. If you don't work on yourself, what does working on myself mean? I know. There's more questions. We'll get to it. I guess the solution is to keep working on ourselves. Self-love, so we attract better. Somebody's like, yeah. They play. They say, they play. Oh. Work on yourself. Kumbaya talk. But you're absolutely correct, Toby. You're absolutely correct. Madam, how far? Greetings to you. Gores Corner. Agreed. Why would you want tester when this is not perfume? Wahala. Let's continue.
Give you my life. I cannot just give you my life. If I marry you,
Give you my life.
your decisions can determine if I am successful or I fail. I can't do that without trust testing that.
Wait, trust or test? Is she doing that intentional? I think she's being a devil's advocate. Because she changed trust to test.
Sure that you can make a good decision for the family, or you are going to a man wants to can determine if I am successful or I fail. I can't do that without trust testing that ambition.
Trust testing? That's an oxymoron. You're supposed to just trust, meaning you have no idea what you're running into. Trust, right? Let me give you a news flash. You don't really have a choice anyway than to trust. You don't have a choice than to trust. Okay? we just released a video that you should watch after this show. We will end exactly in 15 minutes, so you can go watch it. It will redirect automatically to it. Make sure you watch it. It says how to manipulate women to stay in marriages, in bad marriages. I think you will find it interesting to watch. It's a flashback to some of our best moments on the shows. Okay. Trust test. Trust test.
Determine if I am successful or I fail. I can't do that without trust testing that and be sure that you can make a good decision for the family, or you are going to a man.
Trust test. More, she said, trust test. Trust test. Modern people, Indomie generation say, I'm testing. Forget trust.
Wants to have children with a woman that will ruin the seed of his generation. No. So there are cases where I believe that we shouldn't just, we're giving this our trust so easily, giving our love so easily, and that's why many people get heartbroken and disappointed. But if you have put some tests, it's not a booby trap.
Wait, is that why many people are getting heartbroken? Is that why? You know, I thought that was a good question. By the way, the points she's raising are all valid. The perspective is valid, and you know, we can't say it's not valid because more and more people are feeling this way because people are collecting woto. Okay? Yeah. People are collecting when it comes to relationship. People are getting their heart broken, smashed into pieces. So I understand. But naturally, pay attention to this. They are coming up with solutions that actually perpetuates that. Okay? Case in point, test. Let's all become testers. Forget the relationship itself. Let's just test and test and test and test and test and test.
Will you keep quiet?
It is a prove yourself. Let me be sure that you are YK. Let me be you. Don't you want a case
Let me
where
be
you
sure.
will know how sure that this person can? What would he do in this kind of scenario? Not just by observation, but by being deliberately putting
intentional damage.
Everything I do, I will.
By being deliberate, that's synonymous to intentional. When I first came on this scene, I pushed hard against intentional. I knew what I was talking about. These are intentional energies everywhere. You see how when somebody say they are intentional, you might want to run. Run. You might want to say, what do you mean by intentional? Ask questions. So open-ended questions. Stay away from yes or no questions. They are terrible. They tell me more about your social awkwardness. They're weird. Yes or no questions. Okay. Ask open-ended questions and be patient to get to know a person. Okay. It also demonstrates self-esteem. Okay. Because you're not in a rush. You're having a good time. You went on a date to have a good time. Relax. Don't be a tester. Okay? Don't be a tester. I understand the pressure. I get the pressure. But I'm telling you. Let's be guided though.
Creating the scenario and watching how the person would react. You don't believe it. YK. I don't believe you.
See, maybe because I'm not wired like that. There are some people, I know of a certain guy who married a
Really young girl.
No, she wasn't young. They were, well, maybe she was a bit younger than him, but she didn't know that he
We're
had
missing
money.
10 likes. Hit up on the 10 likes. Thank you.
After they got married, she now discovered, oh, he has this huge amount of money. Oh, I didn't know. So, okay.
Oh,
maybe
he had money.
wanted to
Surprise,
see if
surprise.
It was true love. And it wasn't just, oh, because I have money, you want to marry me. I don't, maybe I can.
Oh, so it was
understand that.
testing.
I don't know if I can accept
No,
it.
no, that's a good point. Gentlemen, if you have a whole lot of money, okay, you're going to attract a whole lot of noise. It's just how life works, okay? It's called noise in science, right? Meaning a lot of people that just not qualified, okay? But also, I will be forced to ask you, where have you been hanging out? Because if you're hanging out with same social status, you remember we talked about crossing dimensions, right? Racial, religion, age gap, wide age gap, right? Social status, economical status, right? If you cross certain dimensions, you just collect, because honestly you're going to attract unnecessary noise. But if you're within the type, your circle, right? This is my interpretation of do not be unequally yoked, okay? Hola, that's blasphemy, you shouldn't be changing the Bible. I'm saying that's my interpretation. Unequally yoked. I understand it's talking about believers, but I'm just letting you know that the human mind, emotions are nobody's mate. You should pay attention when it comes to that as well. If you cross certain dimensions, you will put yourself in a position where your insecurity will basically play all the games on you. You'll be the sucker of your own games. Okay, so if this guy is playing games, because let me make sure I won't tell her how much money I have. Like, how do you know how much time that goes? If you're a Dangote, you're trying to pretend you're not rich. That's stupid. That's stupid. Now there are better methods to make sure you attract the right people, particularly the word attract. The key word is attract, because you will continue to attract who you are. Yes, like attracts like. It's just weird. So I call Cap. Okay, I'm calling Cap right now. If you're really that
Stop the cap.
If you're really that successful, how do you have time to be hiding a bunch of your way of life just to marry one human being who should have their own way of life too? We should also be busy with life too. Cap. Okay. So Auntie Yenny is trying to say, maybe I get what you're saying there, boys.
But
it's not
I
hard
wouldn't
enough.
do that because I am not like that. I work on face value. I think what you see when you see
What
me,
you see is what you get.
see is what you get.
Unless
I don't have any.
unless you don't collect in past life. People have stuff that they are carrying around. Emotional, intentional damage. People do.
Hidden agenda. I don't like you. You will know by my reaction. So
And people would tell on themselves, why are you overworking your horsepower? You don't have that type of horsepower. You're taking energy away from experiencing life. Even if you're single, okay, to go and be doing testas. It doesn't work. It's not working. Just look at the dating scene. It's not working. Okay? It's not working. You should be living your own soft life and allow people to tell on themselves. Because if you work on yourself, they will tell on themselves. If they are a walking red flag, they will tell on themselves. If you feel some type of way, you should not go into it. That's an easier, effortless test. Life will test situations anyway. You should not be intentionally creating tests, creating scenarios, fixed scenarios to test the person. That's a waste of life. How sad. That is so sad that people will fall into that space, that the whole generation will actually be in that space where they think they must make sure. It doesn't work anyway. Just look around you.
if someone tests me like that, I might not really appreciate
Everybody's
it.
like you.
Okay, well,
Mariam.
I happen to be like you, so maybe two people.
She's like her. What are you talking
I was
about?
even thinking, what test would you even carry out that will put all factors into play? Because sometimes the way we earn trust and show that can be trusted is how you react per circumstance, per time. If you tested someone when you're in your 20s and things were good and you had little responsibilities and the person passes, is that test enough for when you're in your 30s? Maybe someone falls ill, someone has broken their leg, someone cannot work.
These
Will
tests
that
are
test
stupid.
Be able to accommodate when you're in your 50s and you're going through some financial issues. There's just so many things. So how often are you going to do this test? Do you schedule it for every 5 years?
The test is never enough,
It's just
Timetable.
a
and they will keep doing
as you
it.
live your life and a person responds and reacts, that is how you determine who to trust and how to trust, and even when to stop trusting someone. It does not mean that relationships that have worked out for 10, 20 years, you cannot be betrayed sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
And then when it does happen, then you also reevaluate the relationship.
Yep.
But to say that there are tests is funny to me. But having said that, I know that people, especially in movies, because I don't know anyone like that, where maybe if you come from a very wealthy home and you're about to get married or hang out with people and you're trying to confirm that the people that are coming into your circle.
There is finding out the family that people. He actually did say timetable, right? There's finding out, like Yoruba people call it shiwadi, that you find out what family people are coming from and stuff like that. Vetting. There's a difference between vetting and testing for red flags. Okay, there's two different things. Okay, vetting, you shouldn't be doing it by yourself anyway, because you're not capable of doing it. Even as a man, you're not capable of it. Especially if you're a woman, you're not capable of vetting your partner for a lifetime. You should seek other male figure, uncles, stuff like that to help you with that. How do you do that? You just introduce them. Let them have a conversation. They know what to do if they are wise enough, right? But even as a man, when you're in love, you're not able to vet. It's an oxymoron. You're in love. It could make sense, right? So you're looking for you're probably looking for ways to justify even if it's a bad situation, right? So just don't count on your own understanding when it comes to that. Like, lean not on your own understanding when it comes to that in particular. Yes, Auntie Annie did say timetable. It's a struggle, because remember, people that have good intentions would try to understand, and they might even make it worse for you. This is what you should pay attention to. Okay, this is what you should pay. I'm rounding up. I want to keep it to time today. If there's no trendy topic today, we might even continue. No, actually tomorrow, I do have a show here with my father that you definitely should come here. I'll be having a conversation with my father on this platform tomorrow. That will be interesting. That will be interesting. Oh my God. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. He was just trying to call me, disturbing me in the middle of my show. But no matter how many times I tell them, they still yes, that's me in my papa's hands. Yeah, that's way back in the days. That was in Dallas, actually. I must have been about 2 years old here or so. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. It's gonna sit right here. We're gonna have a conversation. I have a lot of questions to ask him, and I'm not preparing him. It's gonna be purely organic. Okay. Chia say I'm his twin. He is. What if you see my younger brother? Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. But let me just give you, before I come back to introduce this again, let me give you my word on this. Okay, let me give you my word on this. This is a tricky thing, okay, because it's almost like I'm leading you astray if you're in the dating scene. I know it might sound that way, especially if you're Indomie generation, modern woman, man, and you're like, you know what, I need to test everything, especially if you've had some bad experiences in the past, and you're like, you know what, I need to get it right this time. I completely get it, okay, but there's a better way, okay? There's a better way than trying to test another human being, okay? The idea of testing another human being, that young lady is right two ways. There's one third thing I want to add onto it, okay? The idea of testing another human being is invasive. She didn't say that part. She said it's manipulative. It is manipulative. It's invasive. It's manipulative, okay? And I might add, it's anti-seductive, okay? It's no wonder. It's no wonder why you might have been creating a bad result, okay? Because really, we need to take it back to the basics. I keep telling you, we need to go back to the basics. Nature, seduce. Seduce is not the same thing as manipulative. Manipulative needs instant result now. Seduce includes value. You bring value to that person, okay? You lead with giving value to that person, okay? And you understand that there's a process, time. You're not obsessed with answers now. right? It makes sense that you might be in a zone of obsessed with answers now, because especially if you've had bad experiences, you don't want to waste time. I get it. I completely get it.